Well, Johnny Tapp was right. Justin Chan has cracked the big double, the Oaks and the Packer Plate, and so has the trainer Kevin Robinson, who trains at Berry on the south coast. There he is, yellow with the green cap. Number 2, Mr. Piper, won here last Saturday. Wasn't as well weighted today, but he won again. He's paid $6.40 the win, $2.10 the place. Payback time second, number 5, paid $1.50 for the place. And third, Delinquent Simon O'Donnell held on well in the centre in the purple colours, the purple sleeves, and Delinquent has paid $1.70 for the place. The favourite, King Brian, finished well back and never handled the going. Too Good, Mr. Piper, as you see there, has beaten the horse in the red and black Payback Time, and Delinquent third. Okay, in the head-on, the red sleeves near the inside is Payback Time. Outside him is Delinquent. Outside him in the red and white striped cap is Revenge. And then the yellow colours and the green cap, second from the outside, is the winner, Mr. Piper, just inside of Just Amigo. Harry Troy is over there now with Justin Chan. You're making a habit of interviewing this chap, Harry.
Sure am, Ken. The man of the moment, Justin. The feature race on Ken Bell, and now the chairman's hand. Yep, good on you.
Thanks, H. You know, it just shows you what.
470 into 450 for Electronic. Into about 430 now. Boart $15, Ceto Bridge 34, Carla Chief 21, Tennessee Oak 26, Gold Sovereign 81, number 9 Brilliant Poet is at $13, $6.50 for Cornwall King, the best of the lightweights according to the betting. $31 out to $34 for Spiritual Star. Racing Rider looks well, just a little bit easy in the market out to $9.50, and the Bandit, the Kiwi, at $13. Righto, they're down behind the barrier. It's often a battle of tactics, a 2-mile race. Shane Dye is riding one of the favourites, Electronic. I wonder what he thinks of the tactics.
Race 6, the Group 1 SWIP Sydney Cup over 3,200 metres. It helps to draw an inside barrier. You only have a run of about 200 to 300 metres to the first turn. But if you're drawn out wide, don't panic, because you've got the whole length of the straight to get across and to get in. Gold Sovereign will probably lead in the race, but the major thing to do is to get your horse to relax. The race really begins at the half mile. You've got to get out and avoid tired horses and to give yourself a clear run. The 2 main chances are Electronic and Count Shivers. It's a matter whether Count Shivers handles the wet track.
Okay, thank you, Shane. Shane Dye, as I said, riding Electronic. TAB number 1, Count Shivers, still favourite on the tote, showing at $3.20. Count Shivers is trained by Lee Friedman. Simon O'Donnell spoke to Lee Friedman earlier. Here they are.
Lee, happy with the surface for Count Shivers today?
Well, obviously, Simon, you know, I'd probably preferred a firm surface, but I don't think it's going to be against him too much. He hasn't got an enormous weight to carry. It's just a nice weight. I think probably more than anything, it brings some of his competitors in with a better chance now.
Any sort of question mark over 2 miles for the horse?
Well, yeah, I guess that's the other query. He's only been over it once in the Melbourne Cup and he didn't perform, but I feel he's more mature now, and he's, you know, he's training like a horse that should get 2 miles.
Where would you like to see him in the run?
Out of trouble early and in front of the post.
Couldn't be better than that. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Yes, very direct there, Lee Friedman, talking to Simon O'Donnell. Just a few to go in. Harry Troy's over at the start. Harry, by gee, they look well, some of these cup runners.
They certainly do, Ken. They all look in magnificent order. Mate, I'm going for one of the lightweights, Cornwall King, 49.5. It's a luxury weight. Chris Munster ride. That's my selection. I like Electronic for second, Count Shivers for third, and Racing Rider for fourth. Back to you, mate.
Okay, thank you, Harry. Well, they're just about ready to go. The man to call the action is the best in the business, John Tapp.
Now, Gold Sovereign is the last one to move up on the outside of the field, and they're all set and ready for dispatch in the SWEP Sydney Cup. Starter Bill Cooper looks at his watch and sees that they're coming up to precise starting time at 3:45 in Eastern Australia. All set.
Well, just straighten his head.
Starter ready. Count Shiver stands in nicely. They're off in the SWEP Sydney Cup, and Electronic jumped away well with the Bandit. Gold Sovereign wide out as quickly into stride. Ceto Bridge and Cornwall King is quickly striding through into a good posse. Bozart is going to settle just off the pace on the outside of Carla Chief. 3 lengths away, Count Shiver's given time to find his feet, followed by Brilliant Poet, who jumped a lot better today. Tennessee Oak is a long way back in the field with Dark Czar, and Spiritual Star is last as they come around the turn the first time. Into the straight now, about 2,600 metres out, and Gull Sovereign in his favourite role takes over to lead from Racing Rider. The Bandit is in third spot, 3 deep at the moment on the outside of Electronic, and Cornwall King is hacking along on the inside rail. Carla Chief on the inside of Bozart. 4 lengths away, Cedo Bridge on the inside of Count Shivers, Tennessee Oak on the inside of Brilliant Poet, and Dark Czar on the inside of Spiritual Star. Coming down to the judge the first time with a lap to go, and Gull Sovereign led the cup field. Racing Rider second, the Bandit third. Cornwall King is lobbing along fourth on the inside of Electronic, and the mare's got a nice posse. About 2.5 to Carla Chief on the inside of Bozart, 2.5 to Count Shivers, a similar margin to Tennessee Oak, and then Cedo Bridge followed by Brilliant Poet, and the last couple of Dark Czar and Spiritual Star. Gull Sovereign led them at the 2,000 mark, showed the way by a bit more than a length to the Bandit on the outside of Racing Rider, who's box seating. Electronic on the outside of Cornwall King, Bozart on the outside of Carla Chief. Now Count Shivers is about 8 off the lead, followed by Tennessee Oak. Further back in the field then is Brilliant Poet on the outside of Cedo Bridge, and the last two are Spiritual Star and Dark Czar. Over the crossing at the mile, and Gull Sovereign is the leader by 2 lengths or a bit more to the Bandit. Racing Riders in third spot, followed by Electronic, and then Cornwall King and Bozart at the head of the others. Carla Chief on the inside of Count Shivers, ridden very patiently by Stephen King. Tennessee Oak is well back, and then Brilliant Poet on the outside of Cedo Bridge, and the last couple of Spiritual Star and Dark Czar. 1,300 out as they go down the back, and Gull Sovereign in front from the outset led the Bandit. Racing Rider, Electronic, Cornwall King, Bozart is midfield, followed by Carla Chief. Count Shivers, there's a move now. Tennessee Oak about to take off 3 deep. Count Shivers got fired up a bit when that horse moved around his outside. Further back, Cedo Bridge, followed by Brilliant Poet, and the last couple of Dark Czar and Spiritual Star. Gull Sovereign is well clear as they go around the top turn at the 900 mark. He led by 3 to the Bandit. Racing Riders in third spot, then Electronic and Tennessee Oak is looming up 3 deep as they go over the crossing. Cornwall King on the inside of Bozart. They're starting to bunch, followed by Count Shivers, and then Carla Chief. Well back as Brilliant Poet from Spiritual Star, Cedo Bridge and Dark Czar. The Bandit on the outside has raced up with Cornwall King. Now they've headed off Gull Sovereign. Electronic is hard ridden. Tennessee Oak's about 5 deep on the turn. Bozart is waiting behind those leaders, looking for a run, followed by Count Shivers as they turn for home, and there are 4 leaders now. It's Tennessee Oak, the Bandit, Cornwall King, Electronic between horses coming over the rise. Here's Count Shivers. Count Shivers taken to the extreme outsiders, coming after them, followed by Brilliant Poet and the old grey Spiritual Star running a bit of a race. Count Shivers hit the lead in the cup inside the 200. The Bandit is sticking to him, but Count Shivers gets the upper hand close to home. Stephen King has ridden this with the patience of Job, and Count Shivers draws away to win the cup over the Bandit. Bozart will get third, I think, just in front of Spiritual Star, followed by Brilliant Poet. Electronic weakened out of it, and then Dark Czar, Cornwall King weakened, followed by Tennessee Oak. A long way back, Cedo Bridge, Racing Rider, Carla Chief, and the early leader Gull Sovereign is last of all in the Schweppes Sydney Cup.
Yes, all honours to the winner. He mightn't have had conditions to suit, but he was still too good. Number 1, Count Shivers, Stephen King first, to pay $3.20 and $1.60. The Bandit, number 13, second, will pay $4, and the other stayer, Boart, third, number 4, at $4.20. Well, the Bandit hung out badly coming to the home turn. It was a bit of a handful for his jockey, Alf Matthews. He straightened him up. He gave a lot of cheek, but Count Shivers was just too strong. And another Group 1 win at the Carnival, his 10th of the season, to that marvellous trainer, Mr. Lee Friedman. He won 2 Group 1 races last Monday with Merlin and with Gold Ace in the Galaxy, then today in the Sydney Cup with this stayer, and there he comes, Count Shivers in the blue and red colours, joins the Bandit. The Bandit fought on marvellously, but he wasn't strong enough. Boart over on the inside in the brown colours has run third. The almost white horse down the outside is Spiritual Star. Inside of him in the blue and green colours is Electronic, who I thought was quite disappointing. No doubt about the winner, Count Shivers, S. King. Second, the Bandit, Alf Matthews. Third, Boart, Darren Beedman. And I reckon our mate Harry Troy may have just about caught up. Now let's look at this head-on first. The orange colours in the middle, that's the Bandit. Outside of him in the red and blue is the winner, Count Shivers. Boart's right over on the inside in brown and black colours, and just behind the Bandit, behind the orange in the blue colours, was Electronic, who wasn't good enough. Outside of her is Tennessee Oak, and the grey whitest out is Spiritual Star. Okay, Harry, take it away and have a chat to Stephen.
Thank you, Kenny. Well, a slashing win by Count Shivers and Stephen King in the Group 1 Sydney Cup. Congratulations, Steve.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a great win. He travelled really nice during the running, and he really went to the line great.
Mate, no problems at all throughout the run. You were never worried at any stage.
I had a beautiful run. The horse was just so relaxed, and he was a pleasure to ride, he was.
Just chimed in, mate, and just blew him away at the concluding stages.
Well, I think he was the best horse in the race. Naturally we were a bit worried about the track, but didn't worry him today.
Thanks a lot. Over to you, Simon.
Thanks very much, Harry. Lee, he sees out 2 mile, all right?
Yeah, I thought he stayed it pretty well. I thought Stephen gave him a beautiful ride. He was just very patient. I don't think the horse was handling the ground all that well, but he kept him on the bit, even up over topping the rise, and that he still had him well on the bit, and he only really asked him to go the last bit. And I think he did a terrific job on the ground, really.
We'll see him in some great races up in Brisbane.
Well, we'll just see how he pulls up. He hasn't had a very tough preparation, but he's been around the Sydney Cup on a wet track, so he might just go up for a spell and get ready for the Melbourne Cup again now.
You're getting used to this.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's the first Sydney Cup I've won, so it's a great thrill.
Good on you, well done. Kenny, it's back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. Well, that's about it for racing for today, and let's go back to the studio and to Ian Maurice for a sports update.
OK, Ken, thank you. Well, we've just seen the running of the Sydney Cup. We'll have dividends for you shortly, but today's other feature race was the AJC Australian Oaks, and here are the closing stages.
Ken Bell swept to the lead in the bright pink colours and raced away from Isolde. Eureka Jewel is running on, followed by Esther Kelly. Ken Bell clear. Here comes Eureka Jewel. Eureka Jewel is going after Ken Bell. Ken Bell still in front. Eureka Jewel is trying her heart out. Ken Bell is hanging on to that lead, though, and Ken Bell wins the Oaks for the South Coast. Ken Bell beat Eureka Jewel. A distant third, Isolde.
Now, the Frank Packer Plate was also run today. That race went to Mr Piper, ridden by Oaks winning jockey Justin Sheehan. 2 AFL matches on in Melbourne this afternoon. Let's check and see what's happening between Footscray and Fitzroy at half-time. Footscray up 10-10-70 to Fitzroy, 8 goals, 3-51. The other game between North Melbourne and Hawthorn at half-time. North with a comfortable lead, 13 goals, 8 to the Hawks, 4 goals, 5. In Rugby League, a reminder, Parramatta and West meet this afternoon in our match of the day. That game shortly for you in New South Wales and Queensland. Last night it was the Battle of Brisbane. The Broncos beat the Crushers but had to work very hard for the points. Brisbane scored 4 tries in the last 17 minutes, including this one from Steve Reniff.
Tackle 5, will they go through the hands? They've got the Crushers on the back foot. Langer, he goes to the air and across. The outside backs, I don't know about them, but Renouf has snatched it out of mid-air and put it down. The replay will be important, but Renouf scores the try.
Well, Sydney Cup dividends just in for you. 1.13 and 4 the numbers. Count Shivers $3.20 and $1.60. The Bandette $4 even, and Beau Art $4.20.